Welcome to the Drawn to Your Story podcast, where the interviews are reimagined into illustration. I'm your host, Matty Mitchell, and I'm excited to share with you episode 1 with Tom Elliott. Tom is a self-described introvert who has an amazing willingness to say yes to adventures, projects, and life in general. Let's dig in. Okay, so here we are with Tom Elliott. First off, thank you for being my test subject in this.
Thank you for having me on the show. It's a pleasure. It's an honor, actually.
I'm stoked that you'd be here. One of the reasons that I wanted you here is that you say yes to so much. And you've said yes to my crazy art ideas of a show that I'll be putting on that you'll be a part of, hopefully later this year.
Awesome.
And then also the Park Shark stuff that maybe we'll talk about later, and the anything that we've sort of just said yes. So you're like, I'm down for it. Let's get it. And so I was like, hey. And all the other stuff that you do, I see in the community. Like you do the stuff with 91 and do the stuff out and with the SWA kids and all that. I'm like, man, I should do a bit of artwork just for him. And with this podcast being, I do the podcast and an illustration based on that. Then I wanted you to be able to cop that.
Thank you, Matty.
So what I know of you, so we know each other a little bit from
through the skateboarding world and
exactly
91.
Yep, exactly. So I feel like we know surface level of each other. So where this will be exciting is that we'll be learning. Well, actually, it'll be more me learning about you than you learning about me. But so what I know about you is like photography. You've lived in Scarborough, skate, SWA coach, and all the other stuff you do there. Social media, that stuff you've done. The float place that you worked at? Do you still work there?
No longer. I finished up about a year ago there.
That's right. I remember hearing that now.
Yes.
Yep. And you've had some fun skate trips. I was really jealous of that, following that one that you went up the East Coast with last year.
That was awesome.
Yeah. Not many of those going on right now.
Indeed, it's a bit of a shame, but I look forward to getting back out on the road with all the skaters and doing those kind of trips.
I feel like
again.
it's going to be an explosion.
I think so as well, yeah.
I'm
really looking forward
to it. Let's go hit that park. Let's go do that park. Let's do this. Like I've been going down and surfing down in Secret Harbour, and the Singleton one is right there.
Yes.
And
rad skate park.
The day they closed down the skate park, so the weekend, I was like, oh, Fletch, let's go surfing, and then let's go skating.
Yes.
And they shut it, and I was like, oh, damn it. Yeah, but I used to live just there. Oh, fun fact. The skate park that was right there beforehand.
Singleton?
Yeah. It was this really bad skate park.
Yep.
I helped design.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and it was so bad.
How did that come about?
Well, this is what happened is there was a town meeting and they were talking about skateboarding and like they want a skate park there, and all the old people were like, we don't want any skate parks there. And I was like, I'm one of the skaters here and I don't ruin your stuff. And then they were like, hey, you seem to be talking a lot, which I am right now. And then we got chatting about it. And back then, it was like the people who made the Rockingham skate park, the ones that got the bowls and the big hips and that type of concrete.
Pretty rough. Yeah.
So the people that were making that asked me like what design they would do. And we had a discussion, but I had no idea on actual size of stuff. And I was like, hey, can we make it like the Mandurah Park, but if we don't have that big of a budget, which they didn't, can we make it really simple? So you have a bank, a pyramid in the middle, and then a quarter pipe, and then maybe a ledge along the side.
Oh, yeah.
Nice and clean, just like get the park up and people would love it.
Yep.
But they did that, but they just made it so small. And so like they're flat between the spots.
Between things. Yeah.
So you'd like do an ollie over the pyramid and then you'd come hit flat and you'd just go straight, almost like a meter, and you're right into the quarter pipe. Yep. And like I was skating pretty good there back there. Yeah. So I could do it, but other people and other skaters could do it as well. But there was other people that were just like, this sucks.
Yep.
And to me, I was like, dang. But that's one of the ones where I don't put my hat on that notch very well. Sure. I'm like, dang it. But live and learn, right?
Exactly. And they've got a good skate park now. I really like the Singleton one. The Park Sharks comp there was awesome.
I seen that, right?
That was a favourite.
Those kids hitting that like quarter hip?
Yes.
That was insane.
Yeah. I reckon it's just a good skate park for a comp.
Yeah.
Like there's lots of good viewing around it. There's just every kind of object that you need.
So do you judge them or do you all...
For the Park Sharks, I do the social media.
Yep.
So I'm the one filming all the stories and
And I think we'll talk about Park Sharks as we get further on.
Yep.
So that we'll explain what that is, because I think
sure
people who are listening, they'll be like, what, the Park Sharks now? Like they've gone from skating to sharks? What's going on? So what we're going to do to start with is we're going to get to the ball rolling. Even though we were flowing pretty good then, we'll get the ball rolling with some just some questions.
Yep, go for it.
So we got sisters, brothers?
Yes, we've got a younger brother and a younger sister.
Oh, okay.
My younger sister actually just moved back to Adelaide.
Oh, wow.
Like I'm originally, my mum's from Adelaide, and I was born in Adelaide along with my brother and sister.
Do you go back much?
I personally don't, but like I just mentioned, my sister is living there at the moment.
Yeah.
Her boyfriend got a job over there, so she moved back with him.
Oh, wow. Awesome. Do you think you'll go visit?
I'd like to, yeah.
Yeah.
She was actually studying over in London, and then COVID-19 happened.
Oh, no.
So she jumped on a plane as soon as that kind of started getting a little bit scary over there.
Because it got real heavy over there.
She was living in London, so she jumped on a plane, and her course was cancelled as well.
Wow.
So she was studying over, and had to come back.
It's crazy on just how this impacts people, and you hear different stories of how it's impacted people. Of like, oh, that one, I lost my job, or I've had to stay inside the house. But then you're like, your sister, I had to jump on a plane, come back to Australia to make sure I wasn't stuck somewhere where my course wasn't being offered anymore.
Yep.
Wow. And now she's like back. Was she together with her boyfriend before this?
No. Oh, yes. So she got offered a position over there. Not a scholarship, but like a pretty prestigious position at a uni over there. And she'd had the boyfriend beforehand.
Yeah.
And
so they were doing long distance.
Yeah, long distance.
Oh, I know that.
So she lived over there for, I'd say 4 months.
Oh, okay. How long was the position going to be for?
The full year.
Oh, okay. Oh,
so
that's not too bad.
I was actually planning to go over and visit her mid-year.
Oh, wow.
In about June, like my mum and myself were going to go visit her. We've got
my
dad's family's over in England.
Oh, okay.
So,
wow.
Yeah, mum was born in Adelaide and my dad was born over in England.
Oh, wow. Does your dad still live here?
He lives here at the moment, yes.
Okay. Cool.
But yeah, me and my mum were going to go visit.
And your mum and dad are separate?
They're not together at the moment.
Okay.
Yeah, they're separated a while ago.
Oh, okay. Cool. Sorry to hear about that. It must have been tough.
No, happens.
Happens, yeah.
It's part of life.
It is. Okay. That's a really fun answer to that question. What age did you move out of home?
20.
20?
Yes.
Oh, wow. Okay. What made you move out of home?
I just returned from overseas travel.
Yep.
I actually went to America after finishing university with a bunch of mates.
Cool.
And
where'd you hit up?
Started in Canada, so Vancouver.
Yeah, yep.
Spent a bit of time there with Ben Buckley, who you know.
Yep.
And we did a bunch of snowboarding over there.
Oh, good. How good snowboarding?
The best.
It's so
not as good as skateboarding, but
it's not right.
It's close.
I think if you started skating and then you go to snowboarding, you feel like you're missing something.
Yes.
If you start snowboarding and you go to skateboarding, you're like, oh, I go so much bigger, faster, rotations. Like the powder's like you really feel that.
Yes.
Like, but
it's awesome sensations.
Yeah.
I love being out in the mountain as well. I feel like when you're on the mountain, you're on like another planet just about.
You get
like
that
going to the top of some of those peaks.
Oh, mate,
it's
and
crazy.
you're just looking out.
And there's just clouds and you can't really see.
You're in the cloud as well.
It's next level.
It is next level. It's like like an alien vacation type
Exactly,
thing.
yeah.
Especially from here where you're like, the only time you see snow is on the inside of a freezer and you're scraping it.
Yep.
Yep.
So that was awesome. And then, from Canada went down to California.
Yep.
So linked up with a buddy.
Did you drive down?
No, got a plane down.
Yep.
But from California, we drove all the way to Florida.
Wow.
So rented like an RV and did that drive across the South of America, which was awesome.
Wow.
Unfortunately, I wasn't with not unfortunately, but I wasn't with skater mates.
Oh, okay,
so just like high school mates.
Yeah, just hanging out.
I had my skateboard with me, and like I wanted to skate as much as possible, but didn't do too much on that.
No. If you got friends that aren't skaters, they're not hanging out at a spot going like, hey, let's sit here for an hour or 2 hours.
I did convince a few of them to come to certain spots though.
Yeah.
Like when we were in San Francisco, I went to 3rd Army.
Oh, yeah.
Do you know that spot?
Is that because I've been down San Francisco, but I went down to the docks, like Pier 9.
Yeah, I walked past Pier 9.
Yeah, I walked past it. I didn't skate it.
That was cool. But it already had those wooden stopper things on top. So
yeah, I didn't have my skate, but I was stopping. I was down there to get my visa sorted out.
Okay.
But I was like a 24-hour trip. But I really like San Francisco.
San Francisco's rad.
Yeah.
But yeah, I did a little bit of skating in San Fran actually. But yeah, Third and Army, that was the spot.
Did you go to FTC?
That's the shop?
Yeah, the skate shop.
No, I didn't.
Oh yeah, I went to FTC because all the old 411s and they'd be like FTC and then like, what does FTC stand for? And they'd get rattled it all off. I loved that. So I had to go there.
Rad.
And there's Amoeba, the record store that's right on that same strip. And Diamond used to be on there. I don't know if they still are. But the difference between FTC and Diamond, like Diamond just looked like it wasn't skate related. You know what I mean? It's just, that's a whole different world.
Yeah.
But anyway, continue. Sorry.
Yeah, no, I was just saying San Fran's rad. But
what's an iconic spot you got to skate that you were like, I can't believe I got to stand here?
In America?
Yeah. Oh, just anywhere then, I guess.
Probably was third. I believe it's called Third Army. It's like, I'm trying to think of something that would jot your memory. It's got a bunch of like manual pads, and there's that curved ledge that everyone gets a trick around, and then above the ledge there's these weird rails.
Oh, yeah, the big fat ones. Yes,
yeah.
I know exactly what you're talking about.
Okay, cool. Yes, so that spot. So I managed to convince one of my non-skater buddies to go down to that spot and check it out. Yeah. So spent the day there, and that was awesome.
That
was really,
sick.
really cool.
I got to skate Burnside once.
Yep.
And I've got this one picture my wife took of me doing an ollie over the hip where they just added this bowl. And I was so over the moon. But then have you ever heard the rumors of what happens at Burnside? Like where some people come to take photos and the locals will be like fuck off, get out of here. Unless, like, if you're going to take photos, then give us something.
Ah.
And so they'll be like, hey, go get me a case of beer or something like that.
Yep.
And I fully seen that happen. So I was skating there, like just skating around, like keeping my, like not skating well at all. And because skating those DIY spots, especially that, like it's like skating metal, like, you know, when it's sort of a little bit wobbly.
Yep.
Like everything's not perfectly smooth, but the locals just know every little nook and cranny, and they're just like getting speed off. Like, I'm like, there's flat speed. How are you speeding up right there? And they're just like pumping around the corner.
Yep.
It's so good. But anyway, I got to see that happen.
I had a similar experience. I went to Washington Street Skate Park, or DIY Park, in San Diego.
Oh yeah.
Do you know that one?
Yeah. It's got the like that fence railing type thing.
That's the one. Yeah. And rocked up there, and there were two homeless lads there that were like the ones that looked after the park. So I think all the skaters go there, offer them whatever they can, and they maintain the skate park. They clean it up, and they were cool, and they were offering me advice. I was like, how do I get speed to like hit that section? And they're like, yo, you got to take this line. And I looked at the line, and it was so gnarly. Yeah.
I seen a pregnant woman skating Burnside once.
I saw photos of that in a Thrasher.
Yeah. And
did you actually witness it in person?
So you know when your memory plays tricks?
Yep.
So I swear I was there and I seen her skating, and she was like pregnant. Might have been another woman, but I swear it was her. And I remember going like, that's bananas. Like,
yes.
There's no way that if that was my wife, and even if she could skate amazingly well, if she's the Letitia Buffoni of skateboarding, that I'd be like, really? Should we risk that precious thing? Like, can you just wait another 9 months of whatever you need to do?
Yep.
I thought it was
really
heavy.
Love skateboarding.
Yeah, I know. I don't know if I love it that much.
I know. I saw the photos of that lady in I think it was Thrasher.
Yeah.
And it was a little bit confusing, but I was like,
but she's shredded.
I'm sure she does.
Like, she was like board sliding. If I remember correctly, she was board sliding around the corner that's up the top part near the street, around the corner and coming rock to fakies. And I skating that, I was like, dang, like nothing's easy there. Like, it's not like you have to earn your stripes on there.
Yes,
so,
I can imagine.
Anyway, okay. So that went from us just you just moving out of home.
Yes. Went to America, and that was a big eye opener for me. Yeah. Just kind of like changed my whole perspective on a lot of things. Yep. Just opened my mind up to a lot.
So when you say open your mind to a lot, was it culturally, was it like, hey, what my friends back at home are doing, like that's cool and all, but the world's so much bigger than just that
big
idea?
Time. Like I felt like I was in a little bubble before going over there. Yeah. And then America, as you know, because you've lived there, it's pretty crazy. It's pretty wild.
And it's massive.
Massive. There's so much happening over there all the time.
Well, especially from you going from California to Florida.
Yep.
All that in between and how like state to state can change
so
culturally.
Dramatically. Yeah. That was cool. But after coming back from that trip, I was pretty ready to move out of home.
Yeah.
So that was one of the first things I did, I think.
Oh, wow. So how'd you go about doing that? Did you just move in with mates or?
Yeah, actually Tom Bentley's mum helped us out with that. She knew a real estate agent that made it happen.
Oh, wow.
So shout out to Bentley.
Bentley's mum.
Bentley's mum, yeah. And myself, Ben Buckley, and 2 girls.
Oh, wow.
And lived there for 6 months.
Yeah. Have you been out of home since then, or you bounced back and forth because of?
Did go back to home once in between.
Yeah.
But yeah, just been bouncing around. Lived in a few different places.
Yeah. Has it mainly been up around Scarborough or?
I feel like it's slowly getting more north.
More north?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. I thought you'd be coming south because
I'd like to come south.
You're from Freo so much.
Yeah, people always mention that. Like the way I put it is, I reckon Freo has just the best skate vibe.
Oh, really?
So, or like one of my, I just love skating in Freo.
Yeah.
So, whenever I have a day off, I'll try and come down to Freo.
Is it just your works all the way up there a lot? So
at the moment, I live with Mitch Conti, and he just bought the house that we live in.
Okay.
So we were living in Scarborough together, and then he was looking to buy a house and ended up buying a little bit further north. So we live in Corrine at the moment.
Okay.
So
once we get past Scarborough, my knowledge, like I could literally be stuck up there without a phone and be like, well, this is where I live now because I'm never getting out of here.
Have you ever been to the Secret Garden?
No.
That's a pretty common landmark that I reference where we live because we live right next to it.
No, I've never even heard of the Secret other than the movie. We were back and forth on Instagram the other day, and you noticed that I was at Herdsman Park.
Yes.
Or Herdsman Lake or whatever it is. And that's the first time I'd even been there or had even knowledge of it. Yep. So my knowledge I grew up down in Mandurah, so my knowledge of down up around here is pretty bad. Even my knowledge down there is not, it's great, as in like if I need to drive somewhere or get somewhere, I can pretty much sort of do it. But if you were to ask me if like, oh, where's this lake or street, I'd be like, I don't know. I don't know if it's my memories are so bad from back then or I just didn't care as a kid. Like I'm like, who cares? That's a lake. Just give me a skateboard or give me a surfboard and let's go.
Yeah, fair enough.
Yeah.
You spent a lot of time living in America as well, didn't you?
I was 12 years. Yeah. I was all in Seattle.
Yep.
Yeah. But I was just, my wife and I were just chatting about it and how much the weather here makes such a difference on our happiness level. Yes. Like over there where it's really wet and rainy. So my perspective of America is really skewed. So when people ask stuff, I'm like, yeah, that's why I say it was only in Seattle. I didn't get that. I traveled a bit, but I didn't get that full gamut of like, there's people that will like move like different spots because of work and they get to feel that, oh, I lived down in North Carolina, or I lived in LA, I lived in Austin, Texas, and they get that, full range.
Yep.
But I probably would have been shot, I think, if I was in like one of those countries like, standing up for like gay rights or something like that, or like anti-guns or something. I don't know. So here's a fun one to get us going. Even we feel like we're in a good rhythm. Which Ninja Turtle are you?
That's a tough one. Raphael.
Oh, really?
I don't know. That was the first one that came to mind. I'm not the biggest Ninja Turtles fan.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that would be
Raphael. Who else is there?
Raphael, Michelangelo, Donatello, and Leonardo.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't know what their characters are. Right. So
that's fair enough, though. I'd rather that answer than someone go, "Oh, I think I'm this person." That and there. But my wife thought she was Raphael as well. But
okay.
You and my wife are definitely not Raphael.
Sure.
You go.
Who do you think I'd be? Are you a Ninja Turtles fan?
I was back in the day. Like I lived for them.
Who do you think I am and why?
Oh, that's a good one. I would say you're more Donatello. Donatello was a bit of an inventor, but he was more of a cross between really wanting to have fun, but then getting stuff done. Sure. And like sort of going with the flow but not having to like. Raphael was very angst and very like didn't like leadership and didn't like all that stuff. But I do this because I'm pretending to hold up the size right now. But I think that you don't have that angst on first impressions, like, you know what I mean, or even third or fourth, like, you know what I mean. I've never been at a skate park and I'm like, dang, he's got to stick up his butt today. Never had that. No. So the Ninja Turtle's not working for you.
But I do like what you said. Like, I do like to try and get things done, but also have fun.
Oh yeah,
that's like my constant, like, trying to seek that balance.
Yeah, it's hard trying to find that balance, right?
It is.
I've got a question later upcoming that sort of plays into that.
Okay, cool.
What was the first album that you bought?
Oh, another tricky one, because I'm not a muso. The first album I received was an Offspring album.
Oh, yeah. That was one of my
Americana, I think.
Is that the one with...
It's got a flame face on the
is that
cover.
I feel like the first Offspring one... I'm trying to think of what the... I can hear the songs in my head, but I can't... Like, I'm never going to try and sing them.
Yeah.
But I know there was that Pretty Fly for a White Guy.
Yep.
Was that the one?
I think that was on the album.
Oh, okay. So and even though I found that song so funny.
Yeah,
I was like a couple of albums before that.
Yep.
That I was like really into.
Yep.
Like one where he's talking about his missus, like he's always cheating on him, but he likes that. Like,
yeah. It's pretty funny. Like, I was probably 10 at the time I received this.
Oh, dang.
And like, I remember enjoying it, but like listening to it now, like understanding the lyrics, it's pretty funny what they're talking about.
I struggle with that with my kids. So like Fletcher's really into like hip hop and rap right now. And so I struggle of trying to find him music that's like good music, but then also... Even if it's not saying like the F word or any like explicit words, then saying like the content. And I'm like, dang, if he catches on to this here, like that's not okay.
I know,
Yeah, but we'll see how it goes with that. I think you spoke about traveling in America. The next question I sort of had was, where is the furthest place you've traveled to? Now, would that be Florida?
Yes.
Or have you been back to England and stuff like that?
Been to England.
Yeah.
Been all over kind of Western Europe.
Wow. Okay. Was that solo again, or was that with family?
With friends and with family as well.
Oh wow. So you've done quite a bit of traveling.
I have actually. My dad's worked in a few different places.
Oh, cool.
So that's why we've kind of moved around a little bit.
Yeah.
Spent a lot of time in Indonesia. My dad lived there for about 10 years.
Dang. Did he, while your parents were separated? Or?
Yeah, they separated around that time.
Mm-hmm.
So, spent a bunch of time in Indonesia.
Yeah. Is your dad heavily involved in your life still? Or
Yeah. It was his birthday yesterday, actually.
Oh, was it? Oh, yeah. Happy birthday.
So I was around at his for dinner last night.
Cool. What did you guys have for dinner?
They were really nice because I'm a vegetarian now.
Oh, me too.
They had chicken noodle soup.
Yeah.
And they made me a special like vegetarian stir fry.
What made you go vegetarian?
Kind of like ethical and health reasons. Mm-hmm. And I never was a big meat eater.
Oh, you weren't?
Like making the change was one of the easiest things ever.
Oh God.
Because I enjoyed eating meat when I did, but it wouldn't be like a
you weren't like the person that said like I'm gonna have dinner and said I'm gonna have meat and potatoes. You were like potatoes and maybe meat.
Yeah, I used to find eating meat a little bit awkward. I used to hate like eating like chicken off the bone and like cutting a steak and
yeah.
So
I am sort of in the same boat, except I loved meat and I'd pretend that the meat would fall off a tree. So if I got a steak, I would cook it. I would say cook it medium to well done because I did not want to see any blood in it.
Yep.
I wanted to pretend that was not a part of what it was.
Yep.
But my wife and I have recently gone, we say plant-based. So
cool.
We still do some butter and I don't do any milk anymore.
Yep.
But yeah, it was sort of a gamut of reasons of ethical, but also just like how much it takes to get a pound of steak to you, like so much water.
I know, yeah.
The waste,
so involved,
like how much they poop and stuff like that. All that stuff. I'm like, oh, yeah. And then how can I ask a corporation to change or our politicians to change something if I can't make a small change
exactly
here?
Yep.
So then
I think that's the way to do it as well.
Yeah.
You've got to be the one making the change.
Yeah, exactly. So we've been about 5 months now, and
Cool.
I was like, I realized I was having meat product every single meal.
Sure.
I was having milk. I'd have a salad, but I'd have a chicken salad. Then I'd add some bacon to it. And then I'd be like, oh, what are we having for dinner? We'd have something like burgers or something like that around. But yeah.
Are you finding it tricky at all?
No, surprisingly not. I don't want to, like, I hesitate on saying that because, like, it feels like I should be finding it harder. Like, I eat a lot of stir fries now, but I just do stir fries with no meat. So there's not chicken stir fry, it's just a veggie stir fry.
Yep.
And I go up to IGA and I grab these little veggie packs. Mind you, they put way too much celery in them. I think that's just to pad it up because it's a cheap veggie.
Yeah.
But I get all the other stuff out, chop it up, throw some, like, I love onions. So
I love onions as well.
Oh, it's so good. Throw those in there. And then I'll just use different sauces. So I'll be like, oh, tonight's a teriyaki sauce, or tonight. And my wife's way better about like changing it up. So we used to do a chicken cherry port sauce meal, and now we just do it with what's it called? Tofu. So tofu cherry port sauce.
Yep.
So yeah, just make that sort of stuff. But it's been pretty easy. I don't know how people would have done it 10 years ago.
Yep.
Because like I feel like every restaurant I go to, I've got something.
Yes.
To sort of that'll work for me.
Yep. I actually like going to restaurants being a vegetarian because there's usually only a few options.
So you don't have to worry about. Like,
it makes choosing it a little bit easier.
When it first happened, I watched the show Game Changers.
Okay.
And then I was like, okay, like I watched it in the afternoon while I was working away, drawing, and then that night I was like, I called my wife and I was like, I think we need to go vegan, or not. I actually never say vegan because I think I don't do them any justice. Still wear shoes that have animal products or whatever.
Yeah.
So I say plant-based. Cool. I said, I think we need to go plant-based. And then that night we just changed. So I think we were actually having cherry port sauce that night, coincidentally. And then we just kept going along that. Yeah.
Good on you.
Yeah,
Respect.
it's been 5 months.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I was a meat eater, like pizza, supreme meat lovers.
Meat lovers, yeah.
Yeah. Chicken, like barbecue chicken meat lovers, like all that. Yeah. I do miss this stuff, and it's not like I do go, oh, that doesn't taste good, or like, but it's the thought of how we eat the meat as the main thing.
Yeah, yeah. That was never my thing. I was always more interested in.
Are your parents like big?
I'm the only vegetarian in the family.
Oh wow.
But my mum's celiac, so she can't. She's like wheat.
Yeah, she can't do gluten.
Intolerant.
Yeah.
So that's kind of like I still eat a bit of gluten, but
I'm a gluten free.
Yeah, I kind of carry that with me as well.
Yeah. That's harder.
That's a lot harder. Yeah. Because it's gluten's in everything.
Yeah.
You don't realize
everything. Yeah. And so I just found out they do gluten-free Vegemite. My life has changed.
Cool.
I'm like, I'm so happy. Like gluten-free on gluten-free bread. And I'm like, and the bread's gotten way better.
It's getting so much better. That was one of the iffy things.
Oh.
Like gluten-free bread used to be pretty dry.
It was so bad. The worst.
Yeah, and now it's getting better and better.
Way better. Yeah. Where I'm like, it's kind of like, it's definitely no white bread of like that soft with the crunch on it.
Yep.
But it's definitely way better. Or maybe I've just been beaten down enough where I'm like, oh, no, this is good now.
No, I agree with you. I think it is getting better. And same with pasta.
Oh, yeah.
Pasta
I was doing rice pasta a lot anyway.
Yeah, I like rice pasta.
Yeah.
I reckon that's
I didn't
awesome.
even notice it. But I'm sure haven't had it in so long that if I had proper pasta, I'd be like, oh, this is what heaven tastes like or something like that. Yep. But, okay. So, let's get into some like meat of you.
Alrighty.
Okay. We've hit some of this stuff. We've hit some pretty good stuff, so I'm pretty stoked, honestly. As we were chatting a little bit before we got on here, you mentioned that your mum's a photographer.
Yes.
And that's sort of how you got into that.
Exactly.
Do you want to?
Yeah. So my mum has pretty much carried a camera around all my life. She's actually photographed my whole family's like life pretty much.
Oh wow.
She's always had a camera shooting.
So you guys just got
event.
A back catalogue of just memories.
Yes. So she's got massive photo albums full of like every memory.
Yep.
Which is awesome.
That is amazing. Not many people have that, especially before the digital age, right?
Yes. Yeah, so she was shooting film, which is real cool. And it's got all
Was she doing the film where, like, getting it printed from, like, Kodak, or was she getting it printed from like doing the?
She'd just go to a lab and that sorted out for her.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, she wasn't into that. She was just
into the dark room.
She was just using the camera and then send it off.
Yeah, cool. That's still amazing. Does she have a bunch of films still?
Probably. Yeah. Lying around. She's got all these big boxes just full of photos, which is really cool to like go through every once in a while.
Yeah, that's really
all the
rad.
memories.
I love going through those old photos and be like, oh dang, that's right. I looked like that little munchkin or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So she was big inspiration, and she passed on a camera to me when I just finished university. So I was probably about 22 at the time.
Oh, okay. So after your travels to America?
Yeah.
Wow.
So about a year after that.
Okay. So you travel right after university?
Yes.
Okay.
Pretty much. I worked for a little bit, saved up a bit of cash, and then wasn't ready to like start the whole career thing. Mm-hmm. So I was like, I'm going to do a bit of traveling and then
I love how Australians do that. Yeah.
Yeah. So
what did you study? And where did you study?
At UWA.
You studied geology?
Yes.
Wow. What made you do that?
My dad.
Oh, your dad? Did he like say you are doing this, or like
he is a geologist himself. Yep. So when I didn't really know what to do when I was at high school. That's so hard for kids to say, hey, you need to make a choice now that could impact your finances for the next 4 years, because you might go to university on that, and then what you do for the next 10, 20 years. Exactly.
Nuts.
So I had no idea what to do. My dad was a geologist, and he was like, if you pursue this, pretty much guaranteed a job coming out of university, and it pays pretty well. And WA is obviously a bit of a hub for the oil and gas and mining industry. My
neighbour's a geologist, I'm pretty sure, and he is, even through all this like COVID stuff, he's like, we're powering along, because we're not looking for, right now, we're looking at what the next mine site's going to be in 3, 5 and 10 years from now.
Yep.
So it's nuts. So you'd have a secure job throughout.
Yeah. I actually studied with James Ahern.
Oh, did you really?
So yeah.
Wow. Is that what he does?
He is a geologist right now, So, and he's still working.
Dang. So did you guys know each other before?
I met him at university.
That's a crazy meetup.
Yeah.
You guys being into skating.
I knew who he was. I'd kind of seen him around a little bit. But he was in, I think it was my maths course.
Yeah.
So I met him,
Fremantle is such a crazy place. So I'm pretty sure his girlfriend's dad built our fence.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, he's a super nice guy, and the job is so schmick. But anyway, keep going. University.
So university, studied geology, finished that, went traveling, kind of came back from traveling, was going to do post-grad.
Yeah. What would you do after the 4 years post-grad? Like, what does it just give you more knowledge in geology?
I'm pretty interested in physics.
Okay.
That was like the most interesting subject I did at school and university.
Yep.
So I wanted to combine geology with physics, so geophysics.
Okay. Oh, wow. Okay.
And I actually started that. I got 4 weeks into it, and I was like, hang on, like, I don't know if this is really my calling.
Yeah.
So it kind of...
Was that a hard decision to make?
Yes and no. Like, it was kind of hard because I was already doing it. Like, I was 4 weeks in, and I was like, if I pull out now, like, what's going to happen? Like, I don't know what I'm going to do next. So I pulled out, and then that's when I just started like trying to understand myself a little bit better to figure out what I wanted to do.
What did you do to try and figure yourself out better?
That's when floating came into the picture.
Oh, okay. Oh,
so
wow.
I started like exploring like meditation and.
Do you still meditate?
Floating. Not as much as I did.
Yeah.
I like to believe like I want to try and maintain a meditative state.
Wow.
Like not necessarily just sitting on the mat and just in the lotus position.
Yeah. I
like to just try and like catch myself throughout the day doing anything like skateboarding. I want to be in a meditative state, like just really present.
So I was going to say, can you explain what you mean by catching that state or catching yourself? Like, do you mean like if you get too frustrated with something or like coming back
or
to
just
that?
Like overthinking, just not being like present with what's in front of you.
Yep.
That's what I started, I guess, wanting to better myself in to help me understand what I should do next.
Yeah.
And then I discovered floating.
Yep. And that's in the big like
big isolation pods,
and it's like really salted water. So you're like
so salted
buoyant.
heated water, which you lay in, and the pod.
Do they have to clean that out every time, or is it?
It gets pretty thoroughly filtered.
Okay.
So between each session, there's like a half an hour filtration process.
Oh, okay, cool.
So yeah,
that's so you don't have someone else's butt juices.
Yeah, that's one of the most common questions. Yeah. It's actually really, really like hygienic.
Yeah. Oh, I bet, and even the salt water would make it.
Nothing can like survive in salt water.
Yeah.
So it's like it's pretty safe.
Yeah, because it's really salted. It's like that lake, right? That is it over in Europe somewhere?
It's like the Dead Sea, which a lot of people reference. Yeah. So yeah, kind of similar to that.
So that's how you got into doing that stuff. Or you just started.
So
how'd you hear about it? Because that.
I heard about it online.
Okay.
And didn't realize there was a place in Perth doing it. And then as soon as I did, I think a friend of mine actually put me onto the place in Perth, Beyond Rest, and ended up just trying it out.
Yeah.
And from that first experience, I was like, I need to do this.
Okay. I've never done it.
It's cool.
Yeah, I need to try it.
I recommend everyone's got to at least give it a shot.
Give it a shot, yeah.
But for me, it was awesome at that time because I was a little bit lost. Like I'd just come out of uni and I didn't really want to pursue what I'd studied at uni.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay, like let's float and like.
Do you walk past a rock and just go, like, oh, that's a granite B52?
My dad does. Like, not so much. No. I'm still interested in it, but
yeah, it's just not a passion.
I definitely do not want to. I always say I'll never go back to that as a career.
There's a children's book author, Mark Greenwood, who lives around here somewhere, and he just published a book called The Stone, and I think it's based on all types of like different stone materials and granites. You should gift your dad that.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's good to know.
Yeah. No.
Keep that in mind.
You're like, check, Christmas.
Yep.
Yeah. And then he's like, hey, why are you giving me a children's book? What are you not telling me? Like, no, I'm good.
But yeah, back to, I think the original question was, how do I get into photography?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
So you're rediscovering yourself or like discovering yourself after university, figuring out you started doing the flotation, your mum.
So just trying to like figure out what was next. And around that time, my mum gave me a camera.
Okay. So did she give you the camera knowing that this might be something you want to pursue, or? I
was going up north. So I did a yoga retreat and she was like, hey, Tom, you should bring this camera along with you. And the whole time I was up there, we were at a place called, what's it called? Red Bluff.
Oh, yep.
So it's just past Carnarvon.
Yep.
So up north.
Yep.
And she was like, yeah, take this camera with you. And I just fell in love with it.
Oh, wow.
So that's where it all started.
And was that that wasn't a digital, that was a film?
No, it was a digital camera.
It was a digital?
Yep. I still use this camera today.
Oh, do you?
It's pretty much still the go-to.
Does it, is there anything, maybe it's changed now, but for having the digital versus film, like are you seeing more of a photographer if you're only using film, or people don't care anymore? Because when I first got a digital camera, I remember people being like, oh, it's not real if you're not doing it.
Yeah, people still have that, I guess, stigma.
Yeah.
I believe my philosophy with photography is whatever you have on you, use that.
I feel the same thing with like a pencil for drawing. I'm like, do whatever you can.
Because people always like trying to like, I guess, fine tune what they know about a camera. But I'm always like, go out and like see the world in a different way and try and capture that. Yeah. Rather than like
show your perspective on what, like, let's see the world view through your lens.
Yes.
I think.
Yes.
Yeah.
So whenever people ask me like, oh, what camera should I get? Tell me about cameras. I'm like, it's not about that. It's about like just going out there and exploring the world and trying to like I guess create how you see and try and capture that.
Is that the most common question you get? Is like, what camera should I get or what should I do?
Yeah. I don't like talking tech about cameras. Yeah. It doesn't really interest me.
No, it's all about
all about what you capture with the camera. Yeah.
So the main person I know that of photography around here is Christian Fletcher.
Okay.
Like, do you know of him?
I don't actually know who he is.
So I feel like he was a down south cat.
Yep.
And he had a couple of stores, and like they were sort of tourist stores. I think we might have a picture around here somewhere.
Cool.
I think my mate's mum used to work it, and it used to be a photography and framing store. So you'd bring in maybe your stuff, but then you could pick up one of his.
Cool.
But sort of guess you sort of answered it in a roundabout way, but do you think that social media and everyone having a camera phone has helped photography grow, or do you think that it's sort of flooded the market a little bit? Now everybody thinks that they can, like I took a picture of a sunset last night and I was like, oh, here we go. Yeah. Look at this. Like, I'm doing well. And then I like scroll through someone else's feed and I'm like, oh, dang, that's how you take a picture. Like, have you heard of Ryan Chatfield?
No.
Okay. He's like got a company called Osprey Creative or Osprey Media. And he does stuff I think he's done stuff for like BBC Media. He's always shown on like the Perth is okay and stuff like that, and does a lot of drone footage as well. But he that shoots weddings. He's cool. I used to go to school with him, but he's fantastic at what he does. But anyway, back to the question.
Yeah, to answer your question, I do think market has been flooded with images, but I'm all about it. Like, I reckon it's cool. I like seeing other people just trying to capture what they experience. It's not off-putting in any way.
No.
Like, I just believe if you want to pursue something, just go for it.
Yeah.
If you start shooting photos on your phone and get hooked and then end up buying a camera, good for you.
Would you be, like, if you heard someone was like, oh, this person only shoots on their phone, only has these little tiny lenses.
Yep.
Would you be, and they're like 2 million followers, and you look at their stuff and you're like, you know what, good for them, just go get it.
Yeah.
Or
yes.
Is there any part of you where you're like, oh man, come on, like the phone's doing most of the work on this. Like you're putting a filter on that. You're not setting the light up, or you're not getting these like reflectors to do that work. You know what I mean?
Yeah. But at the end of the day, if they're capturing something cool, like I respect that.
Yeah. You're just down for it?
Yeah. Capture it in any way you can. Like, you don't need the best gear to get the best photo.
Yeah.
Like, you can get a really good photo just with your phone.
Yeah.
And
I like to think I've got a lot of those. But when I look at them, no, not as much.
Yeah.
Do you know what I think is people don't get down enough. You know what I mean? Like, if you're taking a photo and you're like of your kids or like skating or whatever, and it may be because we're skaters, we do this because we know we want that lower angle.
Yes.
But people are like, oh, I'm taking this from, I'm 5 foot, but the object I'm shooting is 2 to 3 foot.
Yep.
You know, so you should get down at that level.
That's a common mistake, I guess. The average person, they would just shoot from eye level.
Yeah, and like, this is what I'm seeing, so everyone should see it from this side.
Yes.
Yeah. So my next question was, what is a common misconception about photography?
That I guess you need expensive gear to be a good photographer.
Yeah.
Like I said before, you can be a good photographer just using your phone.
Yeah.
You're obviously going to learn a bit more about photography if you've got all the gear.
Yeah.
Because
would you be able to be a good photographer? Let's say, because we'll get down to this later, but you shoot different stuff other than just skateboarding.
Yep.
I don't think if you're just coming in with your camera, even if it's the one of the, like, I've got an iPhone, but there's those like HTC that have like those big massive cameras on them.
Yep.
If you came into a photo shoot and you're like, hey guys, here we go, click, out comes my phone, they're going to be like, no, we're not doing it that way.
There obviously are certain jobs that you need the right gear for.
Yeah.
But then there's certain jobs where you could get away just using a phone.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'll always choose the camera.
Yeah.
But a lot of people are getting away with just using a phone. Like all these social media influencers.
Oh yeah.
That's all they use.
Yeah. I think that is just speed and access, right? Of like uploading, even though you've got cameras that do Wi-Fi and quick to your phone.
Yep.
But you're not uploading the entire image, you know what I mean? It's so small and condensed in information going up.
Yeah. And I'm not saying these influencers are like photographers, but a lot of them do understand the fundamentals of photography.
Yeah.
So I respect
the golden rule, the rule of thirds and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Did you learn, when you got the camera given to you, did you go back and learn a whole bunch of stuff, or did you just trial and error?
Yeah, my mum was pretty much my teacher.
Oh, wow.
So she taught me everything. And she taught me everything about, like, she was never, this is probably where I get it from. She was never about the camera itself. She was always like, Tom, look at that. Like, how do you see this? Like, how do you see it now if you're like a little bit lower?
Wow.
And she was all about, just trying to...
Was she like that with like other stuff throughout life? Like if you're like having a hard time with like someone at school or a girlfriend or something like that, you're like, does she bring that perspective?
Definitely. Yeah.
Yeah. Wow.
One of the most positive people.
Really?
So yeah.
Oh yeah. It shows through you.
Thank you.
Yeah. What's a funny stereotype that comes out sort of real about photographers, you reckon?
That it's like I guess an easy way to make money, or like an easy job.
Yeah, yeah.
And that like shooting, it's quick and easy, I guess.
Yep.
Like people don't understand how much time goes into like the processing after a shoot.
Yeah.
Like going through like hundreds of images, trying to pick the right one.
Especially digitally, right? Because you're taking so many.
Yeah.
That you're like, okay, this one here's the lighting's a little bit off on the shoulder, maybe 30 down the track, that might be a little bit better.
Yep. So that's a big one, and people like, I guess not justifying the price for a certain shoot.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's like, oh, you're just shooting a photo. Why is this price attached to it?
I've got a question for you, as I've had, but if you take a photo of someone, do you feel like you own the photo, or does that person own the photo?
I think the photographer owns it.
Mm-hmm.
But I think it can be shared.
Yeah, well, so you'll see over to your left, we have our wedding books there.
Oh, yeah.
When we got those done, this is coming up on 14 years ago, so the rules of the game might have changed. The photographer was actually, like they took the photos, so then it was like, those two books were incredibly expensive, more than I would like to share. Luckily my wife's dad was paying for footing the bill and not me, but and that was very nice, thank you, Mr. Price. But I was so dumbfounded back then. I was like, you guys, like, you took the photos of us, but when we bought it, we didn't buy the originals, we were just buying the actual photos and the making of the book.
Yep.
They, to this day, I don't know if they're still in business, but if we were going to go, there was a price for just paying for the print, but then price paying for the original.
Sure.
And so I struggled with that a little bit, being like, one, it was pretty pricey, but at the same time going like, why can't I just have with this price, have the digital files,
yep,
and then I can do whatever I want
to do.
Yeah. So I sort of, because it's also now it's a lot easier. I can understand back in the day when you're like,
yep,
I've paid for getting this film done. I've paid for I'm doing the time doing that.
Yep.
And there's a lot of like editing and putting together. How do you feel about the ownership of the actual raw file?
Yeah, I'm pretty open with it. I will always negotiate that with the client beforehand. Like I rarely will give a raw image to my client.
Yeah.
But if they do want that, like I'll negotiate a deal with them.
Yeah. Do you often give, even if it's been edited, do you then give them the digital file, or do you
Yes.
I guess that's different jobs, right?
Yeah. It depends on the job, but like most common, I'll send them a Dropbox link.
Yeah.
And they can download all the images.
Yeah. I think that's the difference from back then to today, where you'd be like, okay, you can give me those files, where back then it wasn't as much of a...
Yeah.
I think thumb drives back then were like 800 gig or something, 800 megabytes, and you're like, oh, dang, that's huge.
Yep.
Yeah, so maybe that was a bit of a difference that sort of makes up for that. When you look back at your photography career, what is something that you've overcome, or something you've gone like, wow, I did that, like sort of proud of yourself moment, or something you're like, dang, I really fought to get that job, or I fought to get the best out of this model situation, or like I had to climb up this tree and I was hanging off by one leaf and I got the shot.
Yep. I still get that kind of feeling with a lot of my jobs. Like you go, because you never really know what you're getting yourself into with some photo jobs.
Yeah.
I still feel like I overcome a lot each job I do. But
do you guys ever get the blank paper curse? Like so an illustrator, like, oh, look at a blank bit of paper and I'll go, am I going to draw? Like, do you ever get into a photo shoot and you're like, what am I going to shoot?
Not really, but I really work off the energy of the client I'm with. So if the client's a little bit down or they're not like on that day, like that really affects how the photos come out. Like I did a shoot a few months ago and the client said they were not feeling their best. They were like sick. That was their word. So it showed in the images, obviously. And like I struggled to I still feel like we got the images we needed.
But not.
It just wasn't.
Didn't have that one little.
Didn't have that element of magic. Yeah. Just what I want to try and capture.
So how did you try and overcome that?
Just had to perk her up.
Yeah.
Just tried to. I don't want to I guess drop down to that level. I would try and just maintain how I'm feeling on the day and let that kind of shine in the photos. I don't want it to, if I were to be like, oh, you're feeling sick, like this isn't going to work today.
Let's chill out.
Then the photos would probably be average, but I was like, okay, she's not feeling well. Like I've just got to carry this. So let's just get the best photos. So I just want to maintain I guess a positive, good headspace. And
I feel like that's you in general though.
Yeah, that's the philosophy. I want to try and carry around.
Oh, that's. I think that would help out a lot of people just hearing that, just trying to keep that positive motion going forward. Yeah, just in general.
Life's just easier if you're happy and positive. I know it's not possible to always be happy and but
So what do you do when you feel a slump coming down? How do you
just got to acknowledge it? And not attach to it too much. Everyone goes through ups and downs.
What's you don't have to get into anything too deep if you don't want to, but if you want to, fine. What's the biggest dip you've ever had? Why you've been, I would say, found yourself post university?
Ooh, that's a tricky one. Biggest dip. I guess just still uncertainty and doubt with that just comes up every once in a while. It's should I be doing this right now? And I often will doubt myself for a very short period and then I'll be like, nah, this is what I'm meant to be doing.
This is what I'm meant to be doing. Wow. I think your mum and your dad have given you a great sense of confidence that will help rise yourself out. You know what I mean? I think that's a really good thing to have. I don't think as many people have it as you would think.
I guess I spent quite a lot of time myself trying to work on these things. I often will say the Float Center really helped shape who I am.
Oh wow.
Just that culture and community around it, not just the floats themselves, the people. So I ended up working at Beyond Rest. And I just learned a lot through just being there, interacting with the customers, because part of my job was to facilitate the float. I'll introduce people to how you go about floating, and then they float for an hour, and then I link up with them in this little space that we have, and just chat about their float.
Oh wow! So it's really, not you don't. It's not. You know how you think of it. I thought of it as a spray tan. You go in there, they basically go, there you go float it out, close the lid, you float it out, and then undo the lid, and then they just walk you out. So it's a full experience. This is how we want you to go in there. Enjoy that time and then come out. How did you feel about it? This is takeaways kind of thing.
Yes. And often a lot of people end up spending hours at the center after the float.
Really?
So I'll float for an hour. You can float for 2 hours as well. Yeah. And then there's what we call the chill out lounge. So you go and sit and reflect on the experience. And part of my job was to go in and just check up on people and see how it was.
And people
spend the whole afternoons there and hours and.
Is there other stuff to do there, or are you just chilling there?
There's a few different things. There's a set of headphones with meditative music.
Oh wow! So people try and meditate afterwards, and
there's a pot of tea, and people just drink tea.
I'm one of those cats. If I'm done somewhere, I got a massage the other week, and I knew the lady and the cat, so we were chatting a little bit. But if it wasn't for that, I would have been screw it, I'm out. I cannot imagine the hangout part.
Yeah. Well, there was 3 pods at the center I worked at, so there was often 3 people floating like in different rooms,
Yeah.
but at the same time, and then they'd all finish at the same time.
Yeah.
So they'd all end up in this lounge, and often you get people that I've never met before floating and then chatting for hours in the chill out room afterwards. Yeah. That was awesome.
That is, but so like they form these little like friendships.
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah. So I saw some really cool stuff and like real cool connections happen
How did the culture there sort of shape your personality now?
Yeah, I guess that's what I was. That's what led me down this chat. I found a lot of the people that came into the center came in to like better themselves. So I was trying to better myself at the same time as well. That's
pretty crazy for being so young to even have the foresight to go, I want to try and better myself.
Yep.
Like that's pretty nuts.
It started off, I just want to understand myself a little bit better.
Even that, like,
and then
were you going out and partying and stuff like that? Still at that?
A little bit, yeah.
Not a ton, or
every once in a while.
Yeah. Oh wow.
I wouldn't say never partied.
Yeah. No.
Everyone likes to party.
Yeah. Who doesn't? Well, that's back when I was younger, and I was around that 20 mark. I was going out, even from 18 to 20. I was going out minimum of one night a week, but definitely like there was nights where it was like 4 or 5 nights a week, and I would say 3 nights a week was a regular. And we may not be going. I was broke at the same, but I may not be going out and drinking at a bar every time. But it might be like, oh, we're going to go over to this person's house, or me and my mate Sparkles lived around here, up in Freeman. He had all these like connections because of where he worked, and we'd like walk past the metros, then they would be like the bouncer or the person at the door might be like, oh, hey Sparkles, yeah, you want to come in? I'd be like, oh yeah, all right, let's go in. But we would be like, that was our sort of gimmick to try and drink for free or whatever.
Yep. Yeah,
and so
I got a few friends like that.
Yeah, and so we would go out and party. But like to me, it sort of blows my mind being that young and being like, oh yeah, I partied a little bit, but I was going to go find myself more.
Yeah, I guess like I'm a pretty extreme introvert, so like the thought of going out to a nightclub's not too appealing.
Yeah.
Like I'd rather just spend time by myself with a small group.
Yeah.
And like
as I've gotten older, I've definitely been like, I'd rather that group to be smaller and smaller.
Than
I would rather.
That's where I'm at the moment.
Mm-hmm.
Like just hanging out with like close friends and having like genuine experiences rather than getting blind at a nightclub with a bunch of randoms.
Yeah, or even just going to a bar and hanging out with those same people. I'm like, I can't hear you.
Yep.
Like it's just loud. Let's go hang out somewhere where we can just shoot the breeze. If you want to drink, fine. Yeah.
That's what I reckon the coolest thing about skateboarding is. Like you're always at usually a different spot, a different skate park with your mates, experiencing something different. Like I kind of got tired of like going out to a bar or a pub and watching a game of footy. Yeah. Having the same chat with your mates.
Do you follow? Well, I still feel like skaters still have the same chats. Like Like it's just that we've all got a common interest at that time.
Yeah. I guess like for all those people that love footy, going to the pub on a Saturday is like amazing.
Yeah.
But for me,
have you ever been a big footy fan?
Not too much, really.
No, me neither.
I used to play when I was like really young. But
yeah, me too. But
I never really followed it too much.
No, I've watched it more since I've moved back here.
Yep.
Since my son's kind of really into it, because I think because a bunch of his friends are.
Cool.
But so every night we'd watch some sort of footy, and I was like the athleticism is amazing what they can do.
Yeah.
But I wonder if maybe it's people like us where the culture behind it, that's what sort of puts me off a little bit.
Yeah.
More of like I can't buy into getting so amped about the thing or angry about the thing that I'm not doing or have no influence over. Like cheering at home is not going to make Josh Kennedy kick that ball 2 degrees a different angle or harder.
It's funny that you mentioned Josh Kennedy. He was a regular floater.
Oh, was he?
So I got to know him actually quite well. He used to float before.
He lives just down here.
I
just seen him yesterday.
Yeah. I knew he moved to Freo because he used to live in Wembley, across the road from where I used to live.
Oh, yeah?
And he's actually a part owner in Beyond Rest in the float
center.
He? So he would float before every game.
Dang.
And I got to know him pretty well through.
Did you guys sit there and like have the after time together?
Yeah, but he really likes his own space, and I respect that.
Oh yeah, like it's not. What are you going to come in there? Be like, hey buddy, how you doing? What's going on?
Like I think he kind of shies away from like all the attention as much as he can.
Even when he's around here, like we were riding towards him. I didn't realize it was him at first. It was I seen a girl and a dog, and there was my family, another kid, and another kid behind us. I think all on bikes, and I was like, oh, we're going to get off the road. We're going to get out of your way. So I didn't want the kids to run over the dog or the other little kid. And then I looked up and I was like, oh, and he's wearing a 1991 hoodie.
Rad.
And I was like, oh. And then I was like, oh, now he probably thinks I'm being over cautious for him. But I had no idea it was him. But then he was just pottering along. I didn't think he really noticed. You know what I mean? So he seems pretty nice. I've seen him a few times and chat to people nicely and just like.
No, I really respect him. Really good human.
Yeah, it seems pretty good.
But he because he was part of Beyond Rest, he brought in a lot of the Eagles players.
Wow.
A lot of footy players actually float, and Collingwood club have their own float pods for the players. Wow.
Well, same like Joe Rogan, the podcaster.
Yep.
I think he has his own personal pod.
He does as well, yeah. So he's a huge ambassador for floating. Yeah, that's how a lot of people, like, you ask the people that come into the centre, like, how do you hear about floating?
Oh.
The most common thing was Joe Rogan podcast.
Wow, really?
Yep.
Interesting. Yeah, I'd heard, where I used to live in Seattle, there was a float right near us. I never went into it. I'd always say, it'd be fun to try that one day.
Yep.
I just
do you
never
remember what it was called? Because I think Seattle was a big float hub.
Well, I think
they have
there's a few of them.
Conference, I believe, there's like this big.
It'd be so good if everyone had to float in their thing while they're doing the conference.
Yeah,
that would be really fun.
But I think the big like international float conference was in Seattle.
There's a bunch of them around. It's not like it doesn't feel as unique, but it's also America, as you know, where things could be. That was in like this tiny little mall thing, and that wasn't even. There was other ones around in sort of more. I lived in a pretty comfortable place. But even if you went outside of that, you would still see it in like a little mall that would be right next to be like a tan salon, a float place, and like sort of. But then you'd go to other places that were like really high end, and they'd be like, this is maybe more like Beyond Rest, where it'd be like, oh, you go in, you have that bit of that time, you relax. There might be a spa in there, like you might get a massage as well in that same arena.
Yep.
But, so. Let's get into some fun stuff a little bit. The next question I have is, I know that you have photographed a few models, and a few cats have told me.
Yes. One of them, Jordan Cody.
Yeah, definitely him, that they may be nude.
Yes.
And how does that come about?
So it all kind of kicked off when I started working with a big Instagram influencer called Gem Wolfie. She's got a pretty big following. I think she's got 2.5 million followers right now.
What?
When I first met her.
And she still lives in WA?
Still lives here in Perth, yep.
Wow.
But when I first met her, I think she had about 50,000 followers, which is still a big audience.
But I'm stoked that I have 1,800, and I'm like, dang, thanks, people. That power out.
So working with her got me quite a bit of exposure, obviously.
Yep.
And then other girls, models started hitting me up.
How does it? So are they mainly doing like lingerie shots for that, like, or is the nude ones to like level up their Instagram stuff, or
it like the nude one? I don't know. I guess a lot of girls, if they have a nice looking body, they're just super comfortable with it. They want to be photographed, as sexy as possible.
Wow.
And often it's nude, or in underwear.
So is it how like I feel like I could be professional in that situation, but I think I would also have my heterosexual like lizard brain going like, oh my gosh. For example, I used to work at a small design firm back in Seattle, and we had an art gallery at the front. Now, the company I worked for, they had access to these Pirelli calendars. Have you ever heard of those guys?
No.
So Pirelli is the tire company for the but they do all rubber tire manufacturing.
Yep.
If you're a big client of them, they would give you these big calendars that had all models on them and famous models like Heidi Klum and stuff like that. That would be topless and nude and stuff like that. That was their big thing. I think a lot of those famous photographers that have had all that stuff sort of go on. But anyway, I'm getting sidetracked. I had to... we had access to these and we were going to do an art show of them, but we didn't want to put the originals up. So I had to photograph them, and then I had to Photoshop out any of the blemishes that was done through there's dust on it or whatever. So I would be sitting there with this big screen, 24 inch or whatever, because I was the lowest man on the totem pole at that point, right as all the clients would walk through. And I would be clicking, I'd be zoomed in on an areola, just click, zoom, stamp brush that, little bit past that. And I remember the clients be like, that's a nice looking picture you have there. Going are you meant to be? I'd be like, oh, we've got an art show we're doing. And I have to go through this whole thing. It became to a point, at first I was kind of there was that giddiness, I'm seeing boobs all day. But then at the point I got to where I was like, oh, this is just, it's just work at this point.
Yeah.
How do you get into that?
Yeah, that's how I always view it. It's work, it's a job.
Yeah.
It's a bit of fun, but at the end of the day, it's a job.
It's just a job.
So.
And obviously you'd be professional through that. As you obviously worked with that one client that sort of kicked it off. What was her name?
Gem Wolfie.
Gem?
Yes.
Okay. So then have the other girls have been like, oh yeah, this guy's super comfortable to work with. He's not creepy.
I think that word carries.
Yeah.
So I approach shooting a half naked girl the same as I would shooting a skateboarder.
Yeah.
So I think that comfortable element,
How do you set the mood? I feel like shooting a skateboard is a little different than shooting someone in their most sort of intimate time or vulnerable. I'm pretty comfortable at my body, but you get a camera out and even if I'm just shirtless, I'm how do you set that sort of comfort level?
I guess either the girl is experienced, they've done it before, so they're comfortable themselves. Or I've worked with them previously. And they're not.
They're not worried. They're not.
Yeah. So they understand me, or someone puts in a good word.
Yeah. So when you first meet that girl that you haven't worked with before, you guys come in, and you're for the most part, they've done something like this before, or they sort of know what they're getting into, so they're just they're professional about it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Has there been any funny moments where you're like, hey, have you seen that funny viral clip that goes around? There's this girl at a beach and she's trying to be very sexy on the beach, and then a shory just slams her.
No, I haven't. Actually, yeah, possibly.
It's slams her, and then she gets up and she's like, oh, I knew that was going to happen.
Yep.
Is there any good stories like that sort of go through?
I can't think of any stories off the top of my head. I always find it funny how comfortable girls are at getting changed.
Yeah.
Sometimes they just get changed right in front of you.
Yeah.
That's always kind of funny. Otherwise I would just go.
Do you think your skate mates would do that as comfortably? Even though you're super friendly with them?
If they were in my shoes.
Well, no, just, I mean, you and them hanging out.
Yep.
You're I'm going to skate. Oh, we go skating. Oh, let's just go. We're going to go get changed and then go get a burger or something like that. Do you think you're seeing someone's nuts hanging out really easily?
It depends on the person.
Yeah.
I guess.
But that brings me to sort of the next point of the girls just in general have to wear, or they don't have to, but culturally in this Australia or even America, wearing less clothing they're just more comfortable with. Even a shirt, you and I got our little crew neck shirts on.
Yep.
Even you go to a V-neck, you're kind of oh, that's a little bit showing.
Yep.
But a girl, she'll be wearing a tank top, even if she's not being over the top, but she could be showing more, and they're just more comfortable with that.
Yeah.
Do you think that is an easy transition for these girls to be able to do the stuff they do?
I guess so. I guess there's so much content out there of girls, wearing little.
Yeah.
So, it's helping them become more comfortable in that state.
Do you think this is girls owning their bodies from your perspective, or do you think
it depends? You can use it in the wrong way, obviously.
Yeah.
But I try and like not work with those types of people.
Oh wow!
Like,
can you see that stuff pretty early on? Like, do you go, oh, like, no, I'm not doing that.
Yeah, I definitely turn down jobs if it's not aligned with my values. So,
man, you are one awesome human being. Like,
I think I've just had good people around me for a lot of my life. So
that's awesome.
I try and learn. I'm like quite a shy person, so I often just like I'm there and I'm just like observing. So I like to think I learn a lot from others.
Yeah. I think that's...
So, it's definitely helped.
Yeah, that's really cool. I like your perspective on that. I was interested to see where this goes. Because you can imagine a lot of guys coming in like, oh, yeah, I'm shooting these ladies. I'm seeing all these drop tanks.
Yeah, all my mates like always joke about it.
Yeah, that's probably why they're not doing it.
Exactly, yeah.
Do any of these situations turn into like dating situations, or you're just like, no, that's that world and that's this world, my world?
Because when I was shooting a lot of girls, like I had a serious girlfriend.
Yep.
And she wasn't too fond of it.
Yeah.
So we actually got to a stage.
Would you be fond of if she had been shooting guys?
Yeah, that we often had this chat.
Yeah.
I like to think I'd be completely cool with it.
Yeah.
Because if that was what she wanted to pursue as like as a job, like
you'd have the trust that it's not going to get lead on from.
And that's how I always took it. It's like I didn't want to date these girls I was photographing. It was just a job for me.
Yeah. I don't think there's many people that would be you in your shoes.
Yeah, there's probably some greasy people out there using it.
Even just not even being greasy, but you can imagine being like, what's the thing, like co-workers will be the most like to sort of cheat on each other. It's just the proximity of being like, oh yeah, cool, like we're hanging out. Oh, we had a hard day at work. Oh, we had some drinks. Oh, one thing led on to another. But
yeah, I've never found myself going down that path.
Yeah. I feel like your zenness is bringing you.
I guess so, yeah. Like, it comes back to what I was saying before. Like, if you're present and like, if what's in front of you is aligned with what you want to be doing, you're not really going to have these, I guess, negative thoughts or like misuse the situation in front of you.
Yeah. I think. Do you think that it takes, like, you hear of a lot of guys that shooting models or celebrities and stuff, but like when they like first sort of start out. So I was listening to a Dax Shepard podcast with Alicia Keys, and she was saying the photographer was not being flat out creepy, but he got her to do stuff that she wouldn't have got done if she had all of her team around her. So he was like, oh, to the people, oh, could you get a coffee or could you do this? And then somehow got her sort of solo. So she was making these decisions and thinking that she had to do these things to be successful. So do you think that your, I don't want to say passiveness at all, your zenness, let's go back to that. Do you think that holds you back at all? Or like that maybe just as the question.
Yeah, I guess it could hold me back on certain degrees.
Yeah.
I always like to workshop with the client before we do a shoot.
Yeah.
So these situations don't come up.
Yeah.
Like it's like, what are you comfortable doing? Let's do that.
Yeah.
Like I'd never try and convince someone to do something they don't want to do just to get a really good photo.
Yeah.
That's not how I work.
Then how do you? So is it like, obviously, like in this context, it sounds like we're talking about like if they want to be naked or not, right? But how do you elevate the photography without let's put the nudity to the side, but just even pushing someone out of their boundaries? Maybe it's like a certain pose, or like, hey, you don't want to be in the water, but I think this shot would be great if you were in the water.
Yep. How
do you push them to get the best photo for yourself and for them?
Yeah, I guess that is part of it. You do have to push, and I always want to do something different.
Yep.
And that helps a lot in those situations. Like the same old stuff gets a bit dry.
Yep.
So I guess pushing someone to do something different often results in the best photo.
Yep.
So yeah, I just kind of work that idea with the person I'm shooting with.
Do you let the model or that art direct as well? And they can be like,
yeah,
hey, yep.
definitely. Because I believe that's a really important part of like taking a good photo.
Yep.
It's not my vision, it's like their vision as well.
Yep.
Because they're the ones that come to me saying, hey, I need this photo for this reason.
Yep.
And if I just go ahead and be like, oh, my vision's this, let's shoot this.
Yep.
It might not match with their original idea, and therefore it's not going to work for them.
So you really like the collaborative idea. Like
Yes.
I've worked with you on, like we did the park shot things we'll get into again a little bit in a second. But you really like bouncing off those ideas and like spinning it and be like, hey, throwing in your own ideas.
Yes.
Like, and that was really good when we were working together on that small little shoot. But do you do that sort of thing?
Yeah, exactly. Mm-hmm. Just, I want the best for both of us.
Yeah, yeah.
And it's not going to come from me being like, this is the best, or them being like, this is the best, let's do this. It's, we agree on what we think will be the best for both of us. And then we go and create that.
Is there a moment that you can think of that a model or someone that's, whether you've been shooting someone's food or whatever, that they've had an idea that has given you a different perspective or angle on shooting? You're going, oh, and it's like kept with you? So I'll give you an example that might help. So with drawing, I remember someone was like, hey, treat your hand like an athlete. If you don't draw for a couple of days, then all those little tiny muscles, they start getting a little weaker.
Yep.
If you pick up a pen every day, and even if it's a crappy drawing, so I was having a mental block 2 or 3 days ago, I was just like, all right, let's just get the pad and I'll just sketch out crap.
Yep.
And I didn't try and make anything, I was just sketching it out. But that bit of information made me I can feel that my hand, the difference between my hand not drawing and not. I would never have thought of it that way.
Sure.
Unless someone else had sort of given me that little piece of information. Now, I don't treat it like an athlete. Like, I'm not like doing crunches and curls and like a little hand float maybe.
Yeah.
But is there anything like that sort of...
Yeah, I guess my mum...
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, in the early days was teaching me these lessons without me really realizing at the time. She was always like, yeah, try and look at it from a completely different perspective. If you think that looks cool, shoot that, and then try and shoot it from another angle.
Yeah.
So
have you ever put on a full show yourself? Like just...
An exhibition? Yeah. No. I've done like small shows, like, but not like, I guess, a solo Tom Elliott photography show.
Have you got any interest in that?
Yes. I have thought about it, and I did have an idea a few years ago to do one, and I just never ended up doing it, which I can see why. Like, I went up to Carragini, and I shot some really cool images up there, and I was like, oh yeah, I want to use these images and do a show with them. But I liked the images, but it was just a cool trip that I did. It wasn't really like a true reflection of myself. It was just like, if I were to do a show, it would be like, these images are Tom.
Yeah, because that was going to be my next thought as you were saying that. How, as a photographer, and especially in this, well, because you could easily go to probably all these models that you've been to and be like, hey, let's put on a show, and you probably get a ton of people going there like, I'm going to see these girls like half naked, I'm going to see that. And then you're like, but that's not fully me. Yep. As a photographer, how do you feel like you go about getting something out there? I'm I'm doing the same sort of thing with the project that we're working on, me drawing on top of your illustrations.
Yep. Really excited about that, by the way.
Oh yeah, I'm super excited as well. If only I would hurry up and get it done. But so how do you feel like you'll go about showing that representation of yourself as a photographer?
Yeah, just I guess showcasing work that excites me the most, or is a reflection of what I spend a lot of my time doing. Like the classic example is skateboarding. Yeah. Like if I were to have a show, I guess a lot of the images would be influenced, or would be skateboarding, or influenced by skateboarding. Yeah. Do you feel that sometimes, so I feel this way, this is why I asked, I'm not saying it's you. Do you feel that sometimes skateboarding over influences photography for you? Yes. Often in a good way though. Oh, okay. Yeah. Yeah, I'd say most of the time a good way. Okay.
Yeah, sometimes when I'm drawing, I'll be like, oh, what should this person be doing? And I'll be like, oh, they could be doing a kickflip, or they'd be doing this cut. And I'll be like, no, like do something else. Like it's usually just when I'm warming up, but I'll be like, I need to get at it. But if I didn't do all those skateboarding things, I would not have figured out all the places the hands and arms and legs and head and tilts and body weight and positioning and that sort of stuff go.
Yes. Skateboarding for me has, like, often with a certain trick at a certain spot, you need a particular angle to make the trick look as good as possible, and you need to capture it at that right moment.
Yep.
Like if he's doing a kickflip, you want to catch him catching it, or
or
a grind, mid grind.
Yeah.
So you need that ideal position and that ideal time.
Yeah.
And that carries forward with a lot of my other jobs.
Yeah.
Like not just working with like a kind of stale angle.
Yeah.
I'm always trying to be like, like what can make this angle interesting?
Yeah.
And I pull from like, skateboarding.
Do the models notice that when you are shooting and you be like, actually, if we try this angle, and then they say, oh, that was great. And then do you go, oh, I pulled that from skateboarding?
Yeah, it's funny when they bring it up because like I've got a lot of skateboarding on my Instagram feed. Yeah. So often they'll bring it up and they'll be like, oh, I guess girls in particular, they like this street grungy feeling to skateboarding images. Yeah. And some of the shoots I've done with girls, they want to kind of create that image as well. Yeah. In terms of like angles, I don't know, not so much influencing them. Yeah. But just not so much influencing, but like, do you see where like you grab something from skateboarding, like that angle, like maybe the low one, or you're like getting a big zoom out shot to cover that, and you're like, oh, then I applied that to the photo shoot, and then the girls are like, oh, I didn't think of that, and you're like, oh, actually, I married those two together in reverse, like. Actually, where it does help in that regard is locations.
Oh, wow.
So I've actually shot a lot of like people, girls, clients at skate spots.
Oh, wow.
Because I've like, being a skateboarder, you just go to so many cool spots. Yeah. And like I'll often get hit up and it's like, I need to create this image, but I don't have a location. And I've got so many locations just from skateboarding.
Do you remember how, I didn't know about this until the last couple of years, but skaters used to do like these spot books. Yep. Did you ever do that?
No, I never did that.
Just up in
I've seen a few, yeah. I've seen other people's spot books and they're pretty cool.
Spot books here in WA?
Yeah.
Really?
There's like a Facebook page as well, like Perth Spot Bible.
Oh, really?
That's kind of funny.
Yeah, I wouldn't want to have it out there as much, but yeah. But I think it's good that it is out there.
Yes.
So now that we're blending these two worlds, like skateboarding being your other passion, now would you ultimately like to only shoot skateboarding? Like if you could be is it Blayback, the famous skate photographer, or the other famous skate photographer, Atiba Jefferson, who has sort of ascended from skateboarding and now shoots basically any famous athlete that comes through LA, he's had a camera in front of. Yep. Is there any of those paths like what you would prefer, or you're like, I'm on the Tom Elliott path and this is how we're going?
I think I go through phases. Like I'll spend like a period just shooting skateboarding, and then I'll stop and then move on to, I don't know, girls. Yeah. And then move on to something else. Yeah. I think if you're stuck shooting the same thing over and over, you might get sick of it. Yeah. So I like to change things up. Yep. Skateboarding obviously is like my biggest hobby, and like that would be the preference to shoot. Yep. But every once in a while I like to change it up and shoot something completely different. Yeah. Just to keep it fresh. Yeah.
What do you do outside of skateboarding, just on a side note?
Obviously photography. Yes. Try and keep fit. I like riding, cycling.
Are you one of those people that are cycling for like 50 Ks cycling?
I used to be. Like my dad's a serious cyclist.
Oh my gosh. I used to have like all compassion for them, but I was I've been driving down to Secret Harbour surfing, as I said it earlier. And they just have been hogging the roads, and I'm like, mate, there's a whole section over there for you to ride. Yep. Like I've got to slow down to 40, and now we're backed up 10 cars just so I can get around this bend, and then Like, yeah, I've definitely been grinding my gears a little bit.
Yeah. I'm not that serious anymore, but there was a period where I was wearing Lycra and doing the loops and yeah. But now I just ride just from A to B. But I love being on a bike. Yeah. I love like anything with, I guess, movement and flow. Momentum. Like I love being in the ocean, like swimming, snorkeling.
Did you ever try surfing?
Yes. Yeah. It's pretty bad at surfing. I love it.
I'm terrible. We should go surfing one day though.
I'm very keen. Yeah. I love surfing.
See again, very keen. You're in. No matter what. You're down for it. As long as it's not morally against you, you're like, exactly. I'm in. Like, let's start a band. And you're like, yeah, cool. I'm in. Let's do it.
Maybe not a band.
But okay, so you got so back to the Atiba Jefferson playback. Like, if you could go skateboarding direction or filming everything, you're going the kind of everything direction, right?
Yeah, I'd say everything, but mainly around skateboarding.
Okay.
That will never stop.
Yeah.
Other things to photograph, I'll probably go in and out of phases of shooting them, and then I'll always go back to skateboarding. Yeah. Just because that's like what I've identified as my favorite thing to do. Yeah.
Oh, you're fun. I love watching you on a skateboard because you're just fun on a skateboard.
That's what I wanted. Like, I just want to be having fun all the time. And the best fun I get is from skating.
What is this is going to mean nothing to anyone out there listening that doesn't skate, but to me, the best feeling I have when I'm skating is either the first time I haven't rolled in a while and I just roll for like 10 meters and I'm like, oh, that's right, this is how it feels. Or when I do an ollie and the board pushes my feet up and I'm like, I am like almost levitating for a second. I'm like, this is holding me up. I've done the perfect ollie that's like popped right. I've timed it right. I'm gliding a little bit. What's that for you? Or if your trick selection is just too wide where you're like, I got it.
I want to get that feeling from like everything I do on a board. But obviously once you're warmed up, and you're just in that flow state, that's the best.
Yes.
But I just want to achieve like feel good feels just from like dropping off a curb or like just rolling down the street. Like anytime I step on a board, I want to get that feeling. Yeah. But once you're warmed up, that's the best.
Oh, once you're warmed up, that's go. Or like what's also amazing feeling, and people might relate this to other things, is when you're skating with your mates and you just start and you're like, you get there and you're like, oh, I'm feeling a bit rusty, and then someone else is skating well and you go, I'll try that. I'll try a trick similar or like in the ballpark, and you start skating that. And you're like, it starts lubricating the knees and you're like, oh, sweet. Yep. Then you're doing another trick and you're getting it further along.
Yep.
And then you end up having this amazing session.
Yes.
I feel like they're the best.
Yes, that's awesome.
Like the unexpected great sessions.
Yes. I also like it when say I'm not feeling like my best on the board, when someone is doing well, I'll love to like film them, and that's when I start shooting. Yeah. Like get the camera out, get the phone out. Yeah. I just enjoy watching someone perform at their best.
Yeah. Well, you've speaking of that, you've filmed some of the top cats in WA, right? So like Rowan White, Sean Parker, and you had a photo in the Slam magazine last year, right? Yeah. Which is, for everyone out there, Slam magazine is Australia's skateboarding magazine. Yep. And you had him doing a switch flip over a park bench.
Yes, which he illustrated, which is rad.
Yeah, I was lucky enough to do a drawing of that. That was really fun. I don't know, we don't really have time to go in how, maybe we can do that for another time, how that happened. But as I was mentioning earlier, what I wanted to get into here is like, how do you manage your time between skateboarding, photography, street skating, having fun skateboarding? I heard you're into gaming.
Who said that?
Jordan.
Cuddy. Not really. I just started this weekend.
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
Like, what games are you playing?
I just started playing Fortnite.
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
Is it fun?
It's pretty fun.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not actually a gamer. Like, I've never actually owned a gaming console.
Oh, yeah?
But my housemate has one.
What's he have?
He's got a PlayStation.
Oh, does he? Okay.
But I just got it the weekend, just been.
Yeah.
Just so I could catch up with my mates that live on the other side of the country.
Yeah.
I got a mate that lives in Melbourne who was my best mate at high school.
Yeah.
so I can't obviously see him anymore.
Yeah.
But I found out he plays this game.
Oh yeah.
And they've got the headset on, so like I just log in and I just chat with them and just catch up.
That's so awesome. And they're just like drilling you, and you're like, "Hey, so how was your day?"
And Coddy's on there, so
is he really?
Yeah. So Coddy and I have just been.
He must talk so much crap.
He does, and that's why it's good. Yeah. That's why I enjoy it.
Yeah. I've never actually played it. I was working at Nintendo when it first came out.
Yep.
And it was just such big hype about it.
Yep.
And then when it came to the Nintendo Switch, and people were like, "Yeah, this is crazy," and I was like, "Oh, cool." Like, not a big gamer myself, but I'm pretty decent at the Mario Kart.
Yeah, so, sick.
Yeah.
That's so funny that Coddy mentioned that.
Oh yeah, I asked him. There's going to be another question coming up that you might. So anyway, how do you balance all that stuff? Like, how do you prioritize?
Yeah, that's actually a little bit tricky for me.
Yeah.
Because whenever someone hits me up to go skate, I instantly my brain says yes.
Yeah.
And in terms of like trying to balance skating and filming, and it just depends on the day.
Yeah.
Like how I'm feeling.
Yeah.
If I'm feeling really good on a skateboard, I'll just keep skating and won't film.
Yeah.
Or won't shoot a photo.
Oh, cool.
If I'm not feeling it on the day, or if I see someone doing something exceptional, I'll be like, I should film that. Someone has to film that. Someone's got to shoot a photo of that.
Yeah.
But it's a bit tricky, like trying to balance like skateboarding and everything else.
Yeah.
Because I just get so caught up in it.
Yeah, it's hard not to.
I know.
You're just like, dang, that guy's firing off, or especially you're so involved in the community all around, like especially with stuff like Skateboard WA, which is the free skateboard clinics that go around here, and they do private lessons and all that sort of stuff, and parties and that. And you're pretty involved in them, but you've had the chance to wear a lot of hats for them as well, right?
Yes.
So you've done like social media for them, photography, clinics, and I don't know what else.
Pretty much everything. I'm not one of their like full-time employees. I just help out every once in a while. Yeah. But I think I've done just about every style of event they do. Yeah. I got into it through, I guess, social media and photography. Yep. They got me to work Park Sharks. I work with you. Yep. Was that your first? That wasn't your first one though. I think it was the first Park Sharks final. At EYP. The one that I was with you at? I think you were working social media and I was the photographer. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, I had just assumed that you were like been smashing it with them for years. No, it's only been probably 2 years. Oh, dang. Yeah. Okay. Wow. I've kind of been around it. Yeah, yeah. And I'm mates with all the people that work there. Yeah. And I'm often at their events they hold. Yeah, yeah. But I think it was only about, that event at I felt like a newcomer, time. Like fully new coming in there. I was like, oh, okay, like here's me running around this old man. Yeah, yeah. And I was like, oh, yeah, Tom's got it. He's just taking these rad photos. Like, I think that was actually the first time I officially worked for SWA. Oh, wow. That's cool. Yeah. Man, they're doing great stuff, how they are really just all over Western Australia doing so much stuff. Yes. I heard they like reach 8,000 kids, individual kids a year or something. Yep. Just incredible. Ben and Carmen, shout out to them and everyone involved in SWA. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, like they're doing some really cool stuff. Yeah. Really and all the kids are just so happy and kids stoked. Love it. Every time I work an event, the kids are always like, when are you coming back? When's this happening again? The parents like, how can we make this a regular thing at the skate park? Yeah. So it's so positive. It's really positive. I'm sure there's a lot of councils that hear that stuff, but I wish they seen the impact that it happens post clinic. Yes. You know what I mean? Yes. On that, remember the show The Kids Say the Darnest Things? Yes, I didn't watch it though. So they'd have kids and give them questions and stuff like that. I feel like, so I've been at the clinics, I've taken my son there, and I've done, I've helped out at these events and stuff. And I've heard some of the funny things kids say, but I've say you've been on the forefront more often. Yep. What's something, have you heard of anything funny, like a kid saying like... Yeah. There was, I filmed, this was kind of funny. I was doing social media at, I think it was the Singleton Park Sharks comp. Yep. And I filmed a clip, and in the background, you hear you hear a fart, and then you hear someone say, oh, who just farted? And like, I didn't register at the time, and I rewatched the clip. Yeah. I was like, oh, that's pretty funny. It almost sounds like the person filming, which was me, farted. And then a kid's like, oh, who farted? So that was pretty funny.
So this is your way of covering it now. Like you really did do it.
Definitely wasn't me.
So moving on to that, I feel like I've soaked up some of your time, but I want to knock through some things. You have been involved in building stuff at our local DIY, which is our do-it-yourself skate park.
Also known as Dtys skate park.
Dtys skate park.
I want to make that clear.
Oh yeah. So
huge shout out to Dtys.
Yeah, he had definitely had that thing rolling, and not saying that you were I'm not trying to overshadow that, saying that you were have built stuff on there. Did that spur anything? Like, did you?
100%.
Yeah.
That really inspired me. That was the first time I've built anything to skate. And since doing that, I've tried to play a part in anything else that pops up.
Oh, wow.
And recently we put in a curb at our house.
I've seen that. You've been smashing that curb.
So yeah, that's the first time I've made an object at my house that I can skate. Probably the simplest thing, but we've just got the best space for it.
Yeah, it looks really fun.
So much fun.
Yeah. Do you guys get caught off the curb a lot? Like, 'cause I feel like you guys board slide, and then do you get stuck in the dirt like more often?
Sometimes.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, you just got to see it. It's positioned really well on the run up and landing.
Yeah,
it's
it
pretty
looks
sweet.
really sick.
Yeah.
It's really fun. I like how you guys do on Instagram. You'd be like, hey, what tricks should we do?
Yeah, that's fun.
Yeah.
That's fun. We recently went live for SWA on the curb.
Oh, did you?
And that was a bit of fun.
Yeah.
But I think...
How many people did you have?
I don't know in total how many people tuned in.
Yeah, because that'd be so interesting to know, just because I think to me that if I was a kid, I would be like, I have to be watching that. Because I think when you get older and your skill level gets a bit higher, you forget how much the younger kids sort of look up to that level of skateboarding.
Yep.
So I would have been flipping out, like being able to see that stuff live.
Yeah. It was a bit of fun. It's kind of challenging though.
Yeah.
To try and keep it entertaining.
Yeah.
Like we went live for about half an hour.
Yeah. Yeah. Half an hour can be either super short time.
It did go by really quickly.
Yeah.
But we were constantly just trying to enjoy ourselves, and it was tiring because we were just
skating,
trying to get tricks and just going non-stop, not taking a break.
Yeah.
So I was like, if I take a break, it's going to get a bit boring.
Yeah.
So we were like,
how many people did you have skating with it?
It was just me and my housemate.
Oh wow! Oh yeah, because isolation, you're like,
it was to promote. Yeah, it was just to promote skating at your house.
Yeah.
So that was cool.
That stuff came really, really fun. Okay, keep this moving. So what? You built the curb. What do you think next is in the building process, or are you going to get involved in like the skate park, the skate sculpture? Is that the local?
Oh yeah. I love what Matt Koenig and all the skate sculpture dudes are doing. That's probably not what I want to pursue. Yeah. I just like the DIY aspect of all these little street kind of DIY spots.
Because there's that other one, I don't want to say where, it's that old school thing?
Yes, that's rad. That's a really cool one. We actually put a ramp in there.
Yeah.
Or like the ramp.
That rad photo of Frodo doing the front side.
Yes.
Oh, dang. That had such a nostalgic feel to me. Like, I feel like I could smell an old magazine when I was looking at that. And I was like, dang, that's what skateboarding smells like, kind of thing.
Yeah. He did that so good. And it was dark as well.
Yeah.
Like, because a friend gave me that ramp.
Yeah.
And he actually hit me up. He's like, I got this ramp. Do you want it? And as soon as he said that, I was like, yes, I know exactly where I'm going to put it.
Oh, wow.
And it was at that spot.
Yeah.
And we put it in, and by the time we got it put in, it was dark.
Yeah.
Like, we had to chop it a little bit to get it nice and flush with the wall, and then put down this, the roll-on and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And, by the time it was ready to skate, it was dark, and Frodo still did that frontside wall ride, which is really gnarly.
Yeah, it's
I haven't actually seen anyone get as high as he did frontside since. I'm sure someone has.
He's such a good skateboarder.
He's so rad.
So Frodo, for people who are listening, it is just this local Frio skateboarder is just so good. Like, first person I ever seen to do a dolphin flip.
Yes.
And I was like, I didn't know the board could move that way.
Yeah.
Like, that's amazing.
He's pretty much done every trick on wool stores as well.
My gosh. Yeah, wool stores. Well, we don't have time to get into that. That onslaught. That is just a legendary spot here in WA. What do you think about skateboarding in the Olympics, and do you think it'll affect the culture?
Yeah, it's definitely going to affect the culture. In some eyes of people, like in a negative way, but in my eyes, I think it's a positive thing. Yeah, it's just going to grow the sport. Yeah, it's just where the sport's evolved.
Do you think it's a sport, or do you think it's a lifestyle?
It's both. Yep, it's a sport that comes with a really cool lifestyle.
Yeah, I think so. I think some people can take it as a sport. Yep, and there's going to be the people that truly love skateboarding. It's a lifestyle. Like, to me, I'm almost 39 going, my knees hurt, my ankle hurts, and I'm like, but when can I get back on that board to do an ollie that holds my feet up? You know what I mean? Yeah. Like, and there's going to be some people that'll treat it like football. They're like, oh, once I turn 20, I'm done. I'm good. Yep. So,
but yeah, with skateboarding in the Olympics, I was excited. Yeah. I'm a bit bummed that the Olympics got postponed.
Oh, it makes me go.
Obviously, it had to happen.
It did. It makes me go like, maybe I can go though. Yeah. Like, so hopefully.
My friend actually submitted to be a volunteer, and he actually got accepted. So he was meant to be going over to Japan.
And for the skateboarding, he was going to be a volunteer?
He got a ticket to the skateboarding. He was a volunteer. I don't know what event he was working, but he was just a helper for the Olympics.
I would give a hand job to anyone.
But he got a ticket to one of the skateboarding events.
Dang.
So he's like, I think all of his accommodation was sorted over there. I don't think he was getting paid. So he had to get the flight over there, but he was like a volunteer for the Olympics.
Dang.
Got a pretty sweet deal, and then has the opportunity to go and see other events over there. And he said he got a ticket to skateboarding. I was super jealous.
Dang. Yeah, if that ever pops up again, you should definitely chase that.
Yeah, that'd be pretty cool.
I just want to go and see skateboarding at the first Olympics. I got good. Yep. I've been to a couple of street leagues over there.
That's cool.
I want to go to Tampa.
I've always been curious about the street league.
The level of skateboarding is just so insane.
Because to me, that's what helped it get into the Olympics.
Oh, definitely.
Street league is pretty much the Olympic platform for skating.
Exactly. And the way they have to do it to get into it now. Like, I don't understand that stuff. But anyway, just the level of skateboarding, of like the preciseness of these such technical, hard, dangerous tricks, just on point. Yep. Just so much. And like seeing some people slam, like I seen the one where Letitia Buffini slammed her face and knocked herself out.
Oh yeah, I saw that online.
Yeah.
You were actually there?
Right there. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, I was there and seen it. I swear I seen a tooth laying on the ground.
Oh shit.
I don't think it was. It might have been just a shiny thing. But I was like, "There's a tooth!" Like just all hyped up and being like, like look after her, kind of thing.
Yeah. Wow.
And then there's the time where Zion Wright, I think, got like slammed. Yep. I was like courtside right there.
Shit. You've seen all the hectic slams.
Yeah, it was nuts. And we were all like, and then as he was going out, everyone's like doing the clap and doing like you got it, mate. Like, right. Well, like it was pretty nuts. It was nice though. Yeah, met like Shane O'Neill and stuff like that there.
Sweet.
Jim Thieberg, I mean,
sweet.
That one there, I was like so stoked, and I ran up to him, was like, "Thank you for everything you've done for skateboarding."
He's the deluxe.
Yeah,
dude,
and like he's just like done so much for so many skaters, and like just is known for being. And even back when I was like just a skate rat, like I would hear his name pop up as like hey, he did like this is the guy, like he's super nice and did that. But, but anyway, so I agree, it's going to be a positive, and the people who want to maintain the culture, we will maintain the culture.
Yeah, exactly.
So we spoke about your gaming, but this is what. This other little story is, what and who are CCR?
Interesting. So that's who I started skating with. Yeah. That's I started skateboarding because a skate park was built in my right next to my house. Yep. And CCR is like the Claremont crew.
Oh, so wow. Okay.
So when I was...
you lived right next to that skate park?
Yes.
Jackson and I used to go to skate that behind the, next to the football oval.
Yeah, that's the one. Yeah. So that's the whole reason I started skating, because they built that skate park. I could walk there in 30 seconds.
Oh, wow. I wonder if Jackson and I ever seen you there.
Probably.
We used to skate there because his dad used to go work out at the gym or something like that, and we would go skate there when he was like 11 to 12 or something like that, 11 to 13 or something. Yeah. Yeah. So yeah,
CCR is... the crew that I guess originated around Claremont Skate Park.
Oh wow!
Who put you onto that?
The man of the hour, Jordan Cuddy.
Jordan Cuddy. Yeah. Sick.
I like to say courtier. Makes him sound fancier.
He's done his research.
So let's go through some quick fire questions to round it out. I did have another question, but I think this is going to. I think we'll save that for the next round.
Sure.
Let's revisit this in a year and see
Sounds
how
good.
we're both growing from this experience. Yes, of course, you're very keen. You're down for everything. The rapid fire end question. What is something you wish you did more of?
Skateboarding.
What's a piece of knowledge that you wish you took on board earlier?
Just be comfortable in your own skin.
Good one. Tell me, I feel like I know the answer to this one. Tell me about someone who has influenced you and what they did to influence you.
Yeah, it's pretty much, we've already answered that one. Definitely my mum's the biggest influence.
Yep.
Yeah, she put me onto skateboarding. She was really, she put me onto photography. But
that would
she
be
was
so good if she did that as well.
She was really supportive of skateboarding.
Oh, yeah?
Like my dad was always, he had a knee injury. So he was like, skateboarding's taxing on your body. You should do surfing.
Oh, yeah.
I remember he was trying to push me onto surfing because he thought I'd get injured skating.
Yeah. Yeah, so, well, you probably will.
Touch wood, I've only broken a toe. That's the only injury I've ever had, really.
Touch wood on that.
I had like rolled ankles and like bumps and sprains.
My left ankle is just so weak these days. I have to really work on it to get it back.
Yep.
You are one. I'm jealous.
Yeah, I feel really lucky. That's like the only injury I've ever really had.
You have no idea how jealous I am right now. My body feels like I'm like the Tin Man trying to walk.
Yeah.
So right now it is your gloat time. So what is something you are super proud of but you don't get the opportunity to talk about enough? About yourself.
About myself, like accomplishments.
And
I guess I am super proud of like what I've achieved in skateboarding.
Yep.
But I'm only able to share it. I guess the people in the skateboarding industry, they're the only ones that kind of get it.
Yep.
I don't.
So if you could wear a shirt, let's say you're walking down the street, down Fremantle Main Street.
Yep.
You got a shirt on it says, "Hey guys, I did," or "I'm proud of this." You're like,
I guess I'm super proud of getting that photo published in Slam.
That was so sick.
Slam is my favorite publication.
Yep.
Like full stop. And I've pretty much always had a subscription to their magazine from like an early age. So I've read and owned so many of their mags.
Yep. Would you ever move out of WA to go work for a company like that?
Yes. Yep. But I'm really, really set on like trying to do stuff here in WA.
Yeah.
Like I feel WA gets neglected from a lot.
I feel like it as well. But
I want to bring stuff to WA.
I think the reason that we're safe right now is the reason that it's like, that we get neglected.
Yep.
Like I remember when Day One and that came through and the girl team.
Yes.
And we were all just like flipping tables. Like, I can't believe it. This is nuts.
Yep.
I think I still have a VHS of the girl demo.
Sick.
And I don't have anything to play it on, but I keep that. Yeah. Just for that same thought of like
such a special moment.
Yeah, exactly.
I wish more stuff like that happened in WA.
Like when the Santa Cruz guys came through.
That was huge.
Yeah. Like what's that guy's name? Mario?
Yes.
Yeah. And he ollied the manual pad and then ollied up the stairs.
Yep. That was impressive. I bumped into them at the Mosman Park DIY.
Oh, did you?
That was pretty funny.
Oh, wow.
I just went to meet up with Blake and Willis and they were just all there. Brendan Cross was there as well. He was actually trying a trick. They were just like chilling, warming down. Oh, okay. And Brendan was trying a trick.
Oh, wow.
I don't think he landed it though.
Dang.
But it was cool just seeing them. Like, I like rocked up to the spot and I just saw Tom Astor.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, what? Oh, must be Santa Cruz boys.
I ran into the girl team once, but one time me and Jackson were heading up to Woolstores.
Yep.
And when you're rocking up to Woolstores past the shopping centre, so if everyone else uses a skate spot, but it's just a long bit of ledges. It's a local one around here, but world renowned. Like it's an OG spot here, and we're skating up to go to the spot, and there's someone on the corner, and when you sort of see all the people, and you're like, oh, that's that person, and so you're like, oh, hey man, but as I started getting closer, I'm like, oh, I just waved, and that's Rick Howard.
Yeah.
So I had just been like, hey man, like probably about 50 meters away, or maybe not that much, 25. Like, oh yeah, hey man, skating along, and then it's Rick Howard. Super nice guy. Oh, hey, how you guys going? Like, oh, you guys coming to skate? And then I go sit down and we're like super intimidated. They're shredding.
Yep.
And then I go to skate. I'm like, that's it. This is the only chance I'm ever going to get to skate with the girl team.
Yeah, yeah.
I go to roll, snake Mike Carroll.
Oh, really?
I'm like, dang it. I sit back down, build my confidence back up. I'm like, okay, go. I go to roll, snake Mike Carroll. I'm sitting down. So I just sat down the rest of the session. I think Jackson and I skated Munchies, I think, for a little bit, and then we came back. But we were just,
That's
like,
so funny.
oh my gosh. But
I wonder if I was there that day, because I've been at Wool Stores when the girl team was there, and Mike Carroll gave me a set of wheels.
dang.
Yeah, that was cool.
I remember when the flat brimmed hats came out, and it was like everybody had to have one, but it was the fitted ones.
Yep.
I remember a guy got the pink one that Mike Carroll was wearing at the girl demo.
Oh, rad.
And I was like, I wouldn't even wear that. That would just be up on my wall.
Yeah, yeah.
Not one thing touched. But anyway, it's really fun. Okay, last question. Then after this question, I would like you to shout out your Instagram or website or anything that you want people to go to.
Yep.
What are 3 things that you're grateful for? I feel like I know one of them, but
Yeah, just grateful for being alive.
yeah.
Grateful for realizing my passions early on.
Oh, that's a good one. I like that.
And sticking to them as well, not drifting away and getting caught up with some other
naked models.
Really grateful for living here in WA, in Australia.
Yeah.
I'm grateful for a lot, but
yeah.
they're the first few that came to mind.
That's awesome. My wife and I do this every night.
Yeah.
And we do 3 grateful. So it might be
really
something
good, really good practice.
Yeah. And it really sort of, a few years ago was going through a bit of a slump, and I was just seeing everything was negative. And then we started practicing, my wife did life coaching, and we started practicing this 3 grateful sort of thing, and it helped out. It wasn't the cure for it, but it definitely helped put in perspective. And so it'll be something small, like I'm grateful that I had paper to draw on today, or I had a pen. Yep. But then I'm grateful for this huge thing. It's like the minuscule and the massive all at the same time.
Yep.
Yeah. So
good
pretty
practice. Good. Keep it up.
Yeah. Try to give your stuff a shout out.
Okay, so my photography page is Tom E Photography with an E at the end of photography. I've got a personal account if you want to see my skateboarding. That's pretty much all I post on that. It's like Tom_E, 7 E's.
Yeah, that's right.
Website.
So I always thought your name was like Tommy.
Yeah,
no. So I'd be
people have asked me that.
Yeah,
everyone knows me as Tommy. Like it's rare that people actually call me Tom, or rare if they call me Thomas, which is my full name.
Oh wow, yeah.
But
do your close friends call you Thomas then?
No, everyone calls me Tommy. Literally everyone.
With my mates back not in the States, back in Mandurah, they all had nicknames, and we'd all have nicknames for each other. I never really got one other than Maddie Mitchell. Yep. But they would have like Moose, or they would have all Flap, or like stuff like that. But it seemed like when their names expanded out past the inner circle, all the inner circle people, we started like using their names or like their shorteners names. So we'd be like Nick or that. But then as you get closer, you're like, oh, you're Nicholas now. Like it almost goes reverse. Okay. Like it's like the intimacy brings it back to that time. But
I've always just had a best friend called Tom.
Oh.
So just Tom.
Tom and Tom?
Yeah.
Oh, Tommy and Tom.
When I lived in Adelaide, I had a friend called Tom Boehm.
Wow.
And then Tom Bentley when I moved over to Perth.
Wow.
So I've just always had a close friend called Tom.
Yeah.
So E was just chucked on the end of my name just to differentiate us.
Yeah, just to change it up. Awesome. I am very grateful. Did I get all your stuff in?
Did I plug website?
Let's plug it anyway.
TomElliottPhoto.com.au.
Yeah, I'll make sure that when I post this stuff that it'll be
give you some links and stuff.
Yeah, I'll get all that stuff sorted out.
Rad.
But thank you very much.
No worries. Thanks for having
me. Chewed your ear off for, I think we had 2 hours on this or something like that. But I'm so stoked, and thank you.
No worries.
And thanks for being the guinea pig.
Too easy.
Let's get it.
It was fun.
I'm so grateful you'd be here. Thanks so much for listening. If you want to see how I reimagined an interview into an illustration, please head over to Instagram and follow @DrawnToYourStory. If you'd like to own your own print of the illustration, take yourself over to maddiemitchellbooks.com/DrawnToYourStory and you can grab one there. You can also watch the drawing in progress and listen to the interview at the same time over at YouTube. Just search Drawn to Your Story. For more illustrations, creativity, and a touch of shenanigans, follow @Maddie Mitchell Books. Thanks so much, guys, and I can't wait for the next one.